so many things happening at the same time. But the first good thing is that this PC right here sold for 363 euros. Decent transaction, decent PC. I'm going to make sure that this PC is shipped out today, and definitely, depending on where the buyer lives, should be able to receive it like tomorrow, next tomorrow, at the latest 3 days from today. This is one of my, top selling PCs right now. I pretty much love this PC. It's a Fujitsu Esprimo, P758. I'm going to be upfront with you. This PC is so hard to get. If whenever I see it from my supplier, before I say Jack, this PC is sold out. I want to get this PC as much as possible, but for one reason or the other, it's so hard to get. People want to buy it, and if eBay sees that this PC is listed, they have a way of just, giving traffic to it. I can tell you for free, because I have actually, sold this PC not once, not twice. Last month, I sold about, 18 pieces of this PC, and boom, from nowhere, I couldn't lay my hands on it anymore. But right now, this has been sold. That would mean that I still have 2 left to be sold. I want to be careful the way I sell them, because there might be a situation where you send this out and it gets destroyed during transportation and you do not have a replacement. The buyer doesn't want a refund, definitely want the PC. So whenever I have like 1 or 2 pieces left, I always want to deactivate the offer and make sure that this is sold, shipped out, and when it arrives safely, then I can actually go ahead and list the rest. But then, so many things, like I said, guys, it's just happening at the same time. You see, I have been posting on this YouTube channel, posting videos day and night. Sometimes I post 3 videos a day, giving out, source that will make it possible for you today, with no experience, to actually go about starting step by step, flipping PCs for profit. I'm giving out this source for free because I understand that people need real information, not just information that are, false. You take it, you apply it, and you see that there is no result. It doesn't work. But I'm giving you here free source, making it possible that you go out there and win if you decide to flip PCs for profit. But from my analytics on YouTube, I see that you guys are not clicking on this video. You are not interacting with it. You are not clicking on the like button. So I want to make another humble plea. If this video interests you, you are remotely interested in flipping PCs for profit, please, please, and please go to the like section. Click on the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. In this way, you are actually supporting me, giving me the motivation to continue to do what I'm doing. Guys, it's kind of not so easy to make these videos. When I come to the warehouse here, there is always something to do. I am busy. I have to reply customers. Sometimes some PCs just wouldn't go easily. They want to come with so many problems. And sometimes some of these problems are even something that I have never, ever seen before. From nowhere, boom, some kind of new problem. Like now, this PC here is so hard for me to take out the screw that holds the SSD, the NVMe SSD in place. I've tried everything. For one reason or the other, the screw kind of appears worn, and because of that, no screwdriver is able to take it out. I'm not so sure how that's going to play out. I don't know how I'm going to open it, but I'm still trying all I can do. Hopefully, I will not have to take out the motherboard from this PC in an attempt to cut the screw. I just hope it doesn't, get to that. These are some of the things that kind of takes my time. Otherwise, this PC right now, I should have been done with it, set it up, pack it up, and ship it off directly to the buyer. But then, it is what it is. That's some of the things that we face, but I'm definitely going to be able to overcome that. That is not the greatest challenges. We have seen, worse things. So if PC flipping interests you, please do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I really do appreciate it. I'm not going to kid you. I think this is definitely the worst, SSD screw I have ever taken out in recent times. I tried this screwdriver, didn't work. I tried this thin one. This is what I normally use. This is just small enough to, open any screw. But for one reason or the other, this didn't work. I even tried this, trying to just see how I can open it, but the screw was worn, and because of that, it was just difficult for me. But fortunately for me, this one right here, I was able to use it to unscrew this. It was a battle, it was a serious battle. I'm so lucky I didn't have to bring out the main board, because if I would have had to bring out the main board, then try to force the screw out, I cannot guarantee the fact that something will not be broken on the PC. This has never happened before, but sometimes it's expected, because these PCs, they are pretty much used PCs, and the fact that they've been kept in the office or wherever they were used for so long, there is every possibility that these screws, just get kind of stuck. And if you are attempting to open it, it might just be, a serious hassle. This is good for you to know, so that whenever you get a PC and you want to attempt to open the screw, understand that there is a possibility for the screw to be stuck. So what that means for you is that when you want to start opening the screw, be very sure that first of all you have the right screwdriver. And when you attempt to open it, be careful with the kind of pressure you apply to the screw head. Otherwise, you're going to break the screw head. And for an expensive PC like this, you do not want that to happen. But luckily enough, this has been fixed and we keep moving on. I think I have a cancellation request, an SSD that was sold, on Saturday. The buyer wants to cancel it and the buyer claims that it was bought in error. This is something that we tend to see all the time, and this actually did sell. I'm just trying to go to the listing to see how much it sold for. Sold for 13 euros and 49 cents. This is kind of a small transaction, but whenever I receive a request like this, I do not hesitate to go ahead and approve it, because if I do not go ahead and approve this now, there's every possibility that it might escape me, because today is already proving to be very, very eventful. There are a lot of stuff going on right now, and there's every possibility that I can forget this if I do not approve it. So I'm going to go ahead, approve it, make sure the buyer gets his refund. But this is actually very good, because if I had actually shipped this PC, I would still have to issue a refund. But in this case, I would have lost money, the money used in shipping the item out, the packaging materials, the time. Sometimes it's better when customers just cancel the transaction when the item is still with me, but then we still have another SSD that has been sold. That will definitely be shipped out. Hopefully the buyer doesn't also come around to cancel that. This PC right here is almost done, and I'm just going to go ahead and print out the shipping label to be sure that I still can take it to the post office. This is one of the things I have found to be wrong with transactions that happen on a weekend. If somebody buys a PC on a Friday evening or Friday afternoon, then it's not possible for me to actually ship out this item anymore. And then for one reason or the other, the buyer might tend to be, in a hurry, kind of Friday, PC is not shipped, Saturday, Sunday, no activity. And on Monday, it's almost certain that the buyer is going to reach out and want to ask, when should I expect to receive my item? So for a PC like this, definitely it's already about 15 o'clock in the afternoon. I have to make sure I take it to the post office already, so that if the buyer ever has to reach out to me, I can easily say, look, the item has been shipped. Definitely it's going to be with you tomorrow or next. I hope this is not the case with this PC. So far, it has been quiet. If everything stays like this PC should be ready to go in about 10 minutes or so. Hopefully, everything stays like that. The Samsung 850 EVO 128GB of SSD. If you remember this SSD, I did pull out 3 from 3 different systems. There was a 250GB that has been long sold, and this is the 120GB. I still got, one left. Definitely, I'm going to be selling that. And in between, these two M.2 SSDs also sold. Coincidentally, they are also Samsung. One person bought these two, so I'm going to be packing both of them and making sure that they are actually sent out still today. It's amazing how time flies. The moment you have a lot of things to do, the time is no longer your friend. It's going to fly like no other. I just came here before I could do anything. It's already 16:30 in the afternoon. I have to move, because if I do not go to the post office now, I'm going to meet the delivery driver, and I do not want that to happen. These are transactions that has happened over the weekend, and the worst thing I can do is just to make sure that I delay the shipping up to Tuesday again. That would not mean that the buyers are going to receive their items even much later. I do not want that to happen, but it is what it is. We are used to it. I'm used to it. A long time ago when I started, I wasn't so sure why the time was, always flying. I was like, what's going on? Before I could do one thing, the time is gone. And at the time, I was really trying to, juggle a lot of stuff. I didn't have systems and processes in place. Most times I was wasting time for irrelevant things, but later on, I started realizing that the same amount of time that I have, every other person pretty much has. Nobody enjoys this special benefit of having more hours in a day. We've all got 24 hours, and the earlier you begin to think of how to actually, do the best in the little time that you have, the better. When you come to your workplace, you have to go all in on the most important task. When I started struggling with time, I realized that coming into my warehouse and starting out with, checking social media, taking a look at the drama going on was not the best use of my time. You know, the processes I put in place was such that as soon as I come in, I quickly take a look at my emails to be sure that whatever item I'm going to send out is not being marked for cancellation or stuff like that. I want to make sure that that is in place, and as soon as that is done, I want to go all in and start to bring out the items I need to ship out, prepare them. In between, I have to struggle to actually set up my camera because I've told myself making content is part of this game. Yes, even in the little time I have to be seen, collecting the data that I put out every day in this warehouse, which is, setting up PCs, talking about the challenges I face in the hope of, showing you guys what the potential problems will be if you want to set up PCs and send them out to buyers. Yes, I have to do all that. And when I'm done for the day, if I do not have anything left to do, I can now relax, take a look at social media, take a look at how my videos are performing. This so far has proven to be the best use of my time. But right now, I am very, very hungry. I have not been so hungry in a long time. So as soon as I'm done with the post office, I have to quickly get something to eat. Otherwise, I won't be able to, continue for today. I still have a lot of things to do. I still have to go to the warehouse. Everything is pretty much, in disarray again. There are cartons everywhere. There are bubble wrap still on the ground that needs to be cleared out. That I need to do before I even think of going home, because if I do not do that, and I also come here tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and also do a lot of work, then I won't be able to come to the warehouse anymore. And I'm really trying to ensure that as much as possible, I can actually make sure that my workspace is actually cleaned. And that I'm going to be doing as soon as I, hit the warehouse again. And in between, I've still got some very decent offer, to list 2 pieces that I have to list. There's just no way I can keep delaying that. Otherwise, my capital would just be tied up. So no matter what, I still have to make sure, I get those items listed today. And in between, if I still have time today, I'm going to edit this video and make sure you guys get to see it. Until I see you again in the next one. Peace.